I spent the night in the camper last night because I had a bunch of work to do and just got great internet here in the camper, believe it or not, versus our less rural regular Cog Hill. The super rural new Cog Hill, the Cog 40, it's got 1 gigabyte of internet. It's crazy. Which means I come out here a lot and stay and get a ton of work done. And that's what happened last night. Arlo! And my boy comes with me. Alright, I want to get you guys caught up on the fence. Alright, so we have been working our tails off here at the 40, working on the new pasture area over here. We got 4 paddocks, as I explained in the earlier video, and we have gotten all the poles set. We have gotten all the T-posts set. We got the gates set up where they're supposed to go, and we're using this galvanized gate, and it's got the fencing already made on it. It's welded on there. Now in the past we have gotten regular gates and just screwed fencing on it, but I like this setup better. It's just a lot more safer, and I think a lot more reliable than the other one. I did notice the other day on our goat fence, the females, the does, that's starting to curl up and had come off at the bottom. We got the porta huts moved into the right position right over here. Now we are going to take the backs off the porta huts. There are some people that are worried about the getting too hot in there. Even with those backs on it, I've gone in there several times. It is way cooler inside that. I say way cooler. It's still hot outside, but it is much cooler in. I'll probably get me a thermometer and test it, but it's much cooler in those porta huts, even with that back on it, than it is outside. Now we do plan to put out some shade cloths for everybody, or those, I guess call them sails, the shade sails. We're gonna put some of those out, and we have to figure out a place for waterers and hay feeders and all that good stuff, but we'll get all that figured out. I do want to tell you guys about the T-post. We put in roughly 150 T-posts, and I just have to tell y'all about the trick that we learned. Now, when we first put our first fence up where the flower garden is, I drove all those T-posts in by hand with the manual T-post driver. There were a lot of y'all that said for me to use the tractor. So when we did the pig fencing with electric fence, we used T-posts there as well, and we tried using the tractor, but it was a total failure. The pole would bend, or the tractor would lift up. It would not drive that pole down. So I started doing some research on it, and we thought about buying one of those gas-powered drivers that you hold on top of the T-post, and it just drives it down. And those things look awesome, and they probably work very, very well. And so I just didn't know, and I kept thinking about that tractor thing, so I started doing some research on it. And there were some people say use a steel pipe, and a light bulb went off because a good friend of mine, Kendall, gave me a piece of steel pipe like 3, 4, maybe 5 years ago. I can't remember, it's been a while. And he told me that that's what him and his dad use to install T-post, and I really couldn't figure that out because I couldn't figure out exactly how it worked. If I put a piece of steel pipe and it's open on end over the top of this, how does that drive a T-post in? And I thought maybe I should get a cap welded on it. I really didn't know how that worked. So when I started doing research on these 150 T-posts, how I'm gonna get them in the ground, I found a forum random, and I have no idea where it was. I just Googled it and just started reading, and there was a tractor forum or a farm forum, and they were debating on using a tractor to drive T-post in, and I would say the majority of the people in that forum said don't do it, it doesn't work. Because think of it like using a hammer drill versus a regular drill when drilling through concrete. That hammer drill has that action of it, the hammering action, which allows that drill bit to penetrate through that concrete better versus a regular drill. And I think that's the same concept with these T-posts. That hammering action allows you to drive the T-post in the ground more effectively and efficiently versus just pushing down on it. So I think that's why a lot of people are saying that it doesn't work. But then I found one guy that said take a steel pipe, cut it off 18 inches shorter than your T-post, slip it over it, put your bucket on top of it, and push it down. And he said what will happen is that steel pipe keeps that T-post from bending. The 18 inches will mean that all the posts will go down on the ground 18 inches and they'll all be the same height. And I was like, man, that is awesome. Also, he suggested is to take your manual driver and go ahead and preset them. As a matter of fact, what I was doing was, while Mrs. Cog Hill was doing something over on the tractor, she had some dirt she had to move, I did pull a string, marked 10 foot. Then I came back and just preset all the posts. And then when she got through what she was doing, she came over here and we just knocking them out, y'all. We were just boom, because that worked so well. I just wanted to put that out there. If any of y'all out there are in the same situation we were in or in, and we're looking for an easy way to drive T-post, it's just what we did and it worked. All right, so today I got a few more braces that I got to put in or wire up. And Mrs. Cog Hill will be out here shortly when she gets through doing the chores this morning. We are going to pull this fence for the animals. Super excited, and hopefully we may have time to even install all the gates. We'll see how it goes.
Lately, everything's trembling. All my shelters are opening. Feels like
all right, so we got all of the H braces wired up. All that is done. Now we're fixing to start pulling fence. I'm going to use my tractor to pull it, but mainly to have something to station to. I'm going to use this attachment here that attaches on the fence itself, and then I got two come-alongs that I'll go from here to the tractor. That's how I did it last time, and it worked really well. I could adjust it really good. I could just hook this straight up all to the tractor and pull, but I found situations, because I'm on this hill, where the bottom needs to be tighter than the top, or vice versa. So with this setup, I'll have a come along at the top and a come along at the bottom. So if the top needs to be tighter, then I can just ratchet it and get it tighter. All right, so we just pulled the last of the center sections that separate each paddock, and we're getting really good now. I think we're really getting good now.
You don't want to do it for a living, but
well, the first one I did by myself. The second one you helped me with.
we're getting past.
And this one this one's going pretty good.
By the time we get to the last one, we ought to really know what we're doing.
Well, you doing the clips and me stapling, and it's going pretty quick now, I think. And I want to tell y'all something. Number one, this contraption here is worth its weight in gold in pulling fence. I'm just going to tell y'all. I don't know how much fence you got to pull, but if you got to pull a good bit, look at one of these. We got this one from Tractor Supply. Another tool that is worth its weight in gold that was not expensive. I think that fence puller's around $100, I think.
I bought it on clearance.
Yeah, you did get it on clearance.
When I bought it, we didn't know that we were going to be pulling this much fence, but I remember sending you a text.
I said, get it.
And you were still working at the dealership then, and I didn't know we were going to even need to pull this much fence, but you told me to get it. This is the other tool.
This is your T-post clip tool, and
we'll show them how it works.
We will. This makes putting those T-post clips in.
It makes it where Brooke can do it.
It's like one to 2 seconds.
It's quick.
Super fast. All right, let me show you how easy these clips are to put on with that tool. Now your clip goes like this. You got a U, a big U on one end and a little hook on the other. The little hook goes on your left hand side. Now you can see that U's right there, that little hook's right there. You're gonna put your tool inside that U and push and twist it like that. You can leave it like this, but what you're supposed to do is to come back, hook your tool, because it's got a little hole in it. It's got a little hole in it right there. You hook your tool around that little hook on the other side and pull, and boom, there it is, super tight. That's not going anywhere. And this tool, I did that one-handed while filming with the other hand, and took me, what, 3 or 4 seconds?
You look like a cowboy in a farm.
I look like a cowboy doing.
You do, in that shadow.
Well, we thought we were gonna finish today, but that sun has just been wearing down on us, and we got we got the back rolled out and the front, so we got the front and back left to do. It is hot, it's late, we're exhausted, so we decided to call it a day and get back tomorrow so it can be fresh and not falling out. Oh me. All right, we are back at it this morning. See if we can't knock this fence out and get finished with it. Had some big rain last night, imagine that. I want to tell y'all, I am so happy that Brooke, Mrs. Cog Hill, decided for us to call it quits yesterday, because when we stopped, I was exhausted. I'm the type of person that'll just keep on pushing, keep on pushing, keep on pushing, and then it'll just crash. And that's about what happened. Matter of fact, on the way home yesterday, I caught myself dozing off asleep in the car while she was driving. And when we got home, we ate supper, you know, cleaned up, and the next thing I know, I was out, and that was 8 o'clock or so. So I'm so happy that she said, hey Jason, let's just stop for the day, I think it's best. And she was right. She was dead right on that one. So what we got left is we got to pull the back and we got to pull the front. Then we're through with the fencing. And then we will install the gates. And then this part of the transformation, or this part of the 40, will be finished. Now I will tell y'all something that is going to come later on in the future, once the house is built and all that's done and we're settled in, and we'll see where our budget is. At some point in the near future, we're going to build a barn right here. So our barn will be here. It'll be about all the animals. We can put the milking station in there for the goats. We can put a kidding area in there for the goats. We can have a hospital for the chickens and whatnot. So all that can be right here, and we'll fence it in. We got all this area here, this ours, that we can fence in. And of course we got all this, and that road goes down to the existing barn down yonder on the back side of the property, which is actually right over there. So that is our future plans here for the Cog Hill 40. But main thing is we got to get this area for the animals. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are wanting to know, is this farm going to be like the one we got currently? The quirkiness of it, what kind of makes it Cog Hill? And yes, it is. It is. That's not going to happen overnight, but this farm will be Cog Hill. Trust me. Main thing is we just got to get an area for our animals and get them over here and get their structures built and that kind of thing, and then we'll start working on our quirkiness. It should stand up itself.
Good.
Yeah, that's good.
So I could start putting the things in?
Start sliding them in.
Did you bring a hammer? I hope they'll stand up.
It's gonna stand up. Trust me. It will stand up. What we've been doing is what we figured out is to go ahead and hook it all up. Get it not real tight with the tractor, just a little tight, just to get the slack out. And then we tighten the whole thing up with the come-alongs. That seems to work the best way.
Ready?
Ready. Good thing about the day is the sun's not blaring down on us. Bad thing about the day, the dew point and the humidity are through the roof.
I didn't bring any popsicles out here.
We'll have a popsicle break.
I just brought
For
plenty
too
of
long.
water.
It's been low humidity the last couple of days. It's been fairly enjoyable out here, but today is a different story. Whew. I don't mind the sun blaring down on me. It's this humidity. The humidity is so bad that I'm fixing to grab a glove because my hand's sweating so bad that I can't hang on to the hammer. All right, so we got the fence done. Got it pulled. Well, I say done. I am short about, oh gosh, 10 or 20 staples from us being able to cut it, but it's pulled. Mrs. Cog Hill ran to the supply store to go get staples while I was finishing up stapling, and that way we can finish the fence and cut it out for the gates. When she gets back, if it's not raining, I'm definitely gonna finish putting the staples in. But the fence is tight, it is in. This is a huge relief, super stoked about this. The gate shouldn't be that big of a deal. We are pretty much ready to start putting animals in here when we are ready to put animals in here. Oh man, but y'all can see how much bigger area it is. Way bigger area than what we have currently. And this is one main reason why we wanted to, you know, buy this farm, buy this place, and move out here. We wanted more room for our animals. Matter of fact, this is the goat pen here. This is going to be Nugget's pen here. Nugget and whoever we want to put in there with him. We haven't decided what all is going to go in there with him, but this will be Nugget's pen. That's the goat pen there. And of course, that's the flower farm or the flower garden. And this will be the chicken area. Right around in here. All right, while I was taking me a quick water break, Brooke was going to go get some staples. She got a call from the movers and said that they can head and go get Brooke's mom's tiny house that she's gonna live in while we build right now. So we're dropping everything, we're headed over there, and we're fixing to see if we can get this tiny house loaded into the 40. So to be continued on all fronts.